My live stream. It's Tuesday. We're in sunny Florida, Central Florida, northeast of Orlando. Welcome back to my channel. Kate B here. I'm taking you for a walk again in this beautiful park where I live, and because I just don't want to sit down and talk blah blah blah, I decided to do the live stream and do my steps in. You know, a part of healthy lifestyle is to move. I strongly believe when people are on the move and they just don't sit in the office, they don't sit in the house, they don't constantly sit. I believe when people are in the move, it helps their bodies to have good health, and it charges the batteries. And just when I told you before, like when the car is running, the battery gets charged. I strongly believe how our bodies are. If you're on the move, if you make yourself exercise, do certain physical activities, your body is not gonna fail you. It's gonna work. All your joints, all your muscles gonna work. And whatever you like to do, if you like to run marathons, if you just like to run around the lake, or just do every day run or jog, if you like yoga, if you like dancing, if you like Zumba, any type of physical activity, just choose how high impact you want it to be on your heart rate, and choose your zone and do a little more, just to do a little cardio and keep yourself healthy. Eat healthy, walk, exercise moderately, and you'll be okay. So 17 viewers, welcome to my channel, Kate B. I live in Central Florida, sunny Florida, Central Florida. And today my live stream will continue the topic we started in my previous live stream last week. We're gonna talk about new generation. We're gonna talk about raising our kids and hoping that they're gonna be sufficient, independent, functional adults. And we hope that they will not grow in the generation of snowflakes, the generation of lazy butts, spoiled, privileged brats. That's it. So today, that's the topic of the live stream. 38 people. Welcome to my channel, Kate B here, lifestyle in Florida. I'm a mom to two girls. One is a teenager turning 15. Another one is 10. Not quite a teenager, but a preteen. She's going to be 11. It is so pretty. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm here at the local lake. Very pretty. Thank you. Welcome to my live stream. Iki mo. It is so pretty. And I today have time to talk because I have about an hour, so I'm not gonna hold you too long. 39 viewers. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your interest in this live stream, in this topic, and in my personality. I'm Kate. I'm an immigrant. I've been living in the United States since 2006. I've been an immigrant since 2006. I've been living in the United States for 18 years now. Yay, almost 18 years. Can you say hi, Cora? Hi, Cora. Welcome to my live stream. Kiana Mason, you have two kids. Yes, I have two girls. I have a 14-year-old who's turning 15 on May 15th, and I have a 10-year-old who's turning 11 in August. Not quite a teen, but preteen, not quite there. So I'm a mom, and I see is this being a mom is my most important role in this life, just because I want to raise independent, functional adults that are going to be self-sufficient, they're going to be hardworking, that they're going to build their life, have their own families, raise their own kids to the best possible abilities, to the best possible knowledge and love and the values I instill in them right now being a mom. Maria Vittoria, Rai, welcome. Hello, good evening, how are you? So So last stream I discussed the topic how I was raised versus how I came to the United States, and how my values shifted, or how I changed and how I evolved as a person, being an American citizen, growing my kids in a different culture from what I've grown in. So today I'm going to continue the topic, and before the live stream I was trying to see what in particular I want to talk about. So I'm going to make comparisons about my upbringing and how I do it with my kids, because not everything that was happening to me in my childhood I like, and not everything in my childhood I think was right. And I have excuses for my parents, but I also have an immense gratitude to my parents, and my heart is full of gratitude and love to my parents that they were successful in raising me a self-sufficient, independent, functional adult. And even with all the shortcomings I think as parents they had back in my childhood, I think I turned out to be a decent person. I turned out to be a decent mom, a good parent. I turned out to be a good employee, a great wife. Yeah, I'm an amazing wife. And hopefully a good friend, hopefully a good sister, hopefully a good daughter, and stuff like that. So what is my philosophy? 47 viewers, thank you so much. Kate B channel, I'm from sunny Florida. Mwah. Kisses and hugs to you where you are. Thank you for joining my live stream. I love you all. I value each of my viewers. So when I grew up, I was thinking, what was not so good, what was wrong? Because people don't like, sometimes people on YouTube, they don't like everything pretty, go lucky, positive. People like a little bit of grief. People from South Africa, welcome William Brandis. Welcome from South Africa. You know, you're from all over the world, and it is good because diversity enriches you. Every culture you're in, you have your own experiences, but wherever you are, you can relate to the topic I'm talking about: raising kids, raising self-sufficient, independent kids, not raising the snowflakes, not raising dependable people who are going to use other people, not raising the lazy butts. Hi, my name is Kate B. Nicole, and it's funny that we have the same name. Angelica Barrios. Hi, my name is Kate B. Barrios, Nicole, and it's funny that we have the same name. Yeah, Kate B. My last name starts with B, so Kate B. Welcome another Kate B to my channel. So what are my fears? When I grew up in socialism, communism, and I grew up with the parents whose parents were children of war. So my mom was born in 1941, so she was a child of Second World War, and my dad was born in 1942. So my parents were raised after the Second World War, and their parents, my grandparents, had a lot of hardships. My grandparent, on my dad's side, he went to war and he came back, and of course he had all sorts of PTSD, but he stayed with grandma. He raised 3 boys, and one of the boys was my dad. But my parents grew up right after the war, and you can imagine the challenges in Eastern Europe, and you can imagine the challenges to have food on the table, to have decent incomes in the families. So our parents had their hardships through their childhood and probably through their youth years. It got a little better in 60s and 70s because my dad was able to get decent education, to meet my mom, to travel around Soviet Union and settle on southeast of Europe, where is Moldova. Moldova is a country in southeast of Europe next to Ukraine, and on the other side has a border with Romania. It's a very small country, 4 million of population. That's where I'm from. But now I live in the United States. I've been living in the United States for the past 17 years. I'm a United States citizen, and I'm very proud of where I am, and I'm very proud of this country, and I'm very proud of the opportunity to live here and raise my kids in the United States. So you can understand that my parents lived through rough times as the kids, teenagers, and maybe in their youth years it got a little better. There were a certain amount of jobs provided by the government. My dad got a decent education, technical education, to be an engineer. And through that education, he was able to travel to a country where he built the power plant station, and he was able to get a decent job and grew in his job and career. And he met my mom. My mom was divorcee. My mom had my older sister. My mom did not have a good education. She was a divorcee, but she met my dad and they fell in love. They had, I guess, they had a good relationship, and they married and they lived happily ever after. Well, happily ever after. Life story. Yes, life story, but with little bit philosophy about nowadays kids and how we raise our kids. So my parents were not they were not rich, they were not the poorest, but they were not a middle class. There was no middle class in the Soviet country. You should understand the communist system. They pretty much wanted you to be a gray mass. It was nothing special. So when we grew up, our parents explained to us that everything in life should be earned. You know, earned. And I'm saying again, earned. Nothing is given. Like the wealth is not given. Success is not given. Even love was not given. You know, so our parents from the very early age, they expected from us a certain behavior to earn love, to earn respect, to earn acceptance. And I don't want to criticize it was totally wrong. Yes, by our standards nowadays, there is unconditional love. I love my kids with all my heart. There is unconditional love. And even if I know my kid's gonna break my kid's gonna break my heart, sometimes they will break my trust. Sometimes they're gonna mess up and be in a trouble situations. I know it's gonna happen, and nobody insured from that. But I know I love them unconditionally, that I'm gonna give them support and I'm gonna help them to be safe just because I love them unconditionally. When I grew up, I was lucky to have two parents. I can tell you so many times when people were alcoholics and there was so much trouble in families that people get divorced, that the fathers leave their kids behind and never pay child support. There was so much misery when women raising children by themselves, and of course the girls didn't have that figure father, the girls didn't have male figure in their lives, so they had all sorts of daddy's issues. They get married young with the older guys, having other issues in their family, so all sorts of stories you might relate. But what I'm saying, I was very lucky to have both parents. I was very lucky, and I'm still very lucky. My mom passed away when I was 24. She passed away from really bad medical care and not treating her heart condition, not taking good care of herself. And my dad is still alive. My dad is 83. He lives with me. He helps me raise my children. He's by my side. I pray for him to stay healthy, stay in good mind for a lot longer, to enjoy life here in the States, and to see my girls grow, get married, and settle in life too. So I'm very fortunate to have my dad alive, being in my life, helping me, loving my kids, supporting me, in everyday life, in everyday logistics, and everyday hard work as a mom. My dad is there for me to support me. So I had a great father figure when I grew up. He was a great father figure just because he was nice to my mom. He worked hard. He wasn't an alcoholic. He didn't drink. And I believe that I was fortunate and lucky and blessed with the best father on earth, just because I don't know if their marriage was always unrocky. They probably had rocky moments, but they made it possible for us not to notice these rocky moments. There was no abuse in the family. My dad was very hardworking. He provided for his family. He got the apartments for us to live. Even if it was government job, he always knew the way to get whatever he's supposed to get from the government. So I'm very blessed with a father and a mother and a family with 2 parents. But when I grew up, they always taught us that we need to earn things, that, you know, like you have to behave in a certain way. Like you have to become independent at 7 because parents worked. They made you cook for yourself, fix your dinner, come from school by yourself. Nobody picked you up, nobody take you anywhere. You go by the public transportation or you walk. You want to do music, you go and visit your teacher by yourself. So from the age 7 or 8, we were very, you know, like we were lonely doing stuff. Like we could cook, we could clean the house. And my parents, my mom especially, she was very authoritative and she had very high expectations from us to help in very early age. Life was not easy back then. They didn't have a washing machine. Sometimes we didn't have a hot water in the tap. We lived in the apartment building. My mom was very, very good in keeping the household clean, great food, like great cook, you know, keep our clothes clean, keep everything clean. And she expected from us very high standards. So from my mom too, we not only get her love and cuddles and cheer, we had to earn it constantly from very early age. We had to always earn it with our good behavior, with our hard work. Like I remember that my aunt, she had crop fields, and she was working in the crop fields. Like she would take those crop fields rented from the government, you know, and she would make money by cleaning those crop fields from the crops and get paid by, you know, by the government. And everybody, my cousins, my sister, me, we had to work hard on those crop fields, whether it was rainy, whether it was sunny, whether it was dark. We were dirty. We were working in the crop fields. When I remember myself when I was 10 and 11, if I tell my kid to garden with me at 10 or 11, she would look at me and she would say, "No, Mom, no thanks," you know. But there was no word to my parents. So my parents always made us work hard. And we had to learn everything we've done in the household. As girls, the expectations were even higher because we had to clean, iron the clothes, we had to cook. So we had to learn to be good housewives because my parents believed if you're not a good housewife, you can't find a good husband. That's how we grew up. I never say that to my kids. I never expect the girls to do all the housework. I never tell them that this is the qualifications you have to land a good relationship and to have a good marriage. No. In the United States, everybody is equal. Women want to make as much money as men make now in different careers and different jobs. The same goes with men. If they want to have a decent person, good relationship, respect their wife, not only for cooking and cleaning, men should pick up and do the same amount of house chores or share responsibilities about household duties, share responsibilities about raising kids and taking them to activities and stuff like that, not only finance part. And the same goes with women. Um, so I don't tell my girls that all their household skills are must or needed in order to earn my love. I don't tell my girls that love only comes from their everyday good behavior. I tell my girls every day how I love and adore them just because I'm their mom, just because I'm raising them in this privileged world, providing for them the best living I could, letting them experience sports, letting them experience good schools, letting them experience very pretty environment they live in. So I love them unconditionally, and I don't expect them at this age to work on the household chores or to do something besides school and sport, besides their main responsibilities and their part to succeed in life. So I believe at this time, for them being at school, working hard at school, working hard in sports, getting experiences, being happy kids, enjoying their childhood without the burden of hard physical work, providing for them. I don't expect them to earn the love from me. I don't expect my girls to the love from me. On the other hand, I'm a little unsatisfied with the kids being ungrateful sometimes. For example, if you entertain them every weekend, you take them somewhere every weekend, they expect that this is normal to get entertained and spend money every weekend. So the weekend I don't take my little one somewhere, she starts to be a little upset with me. She starts to throw her little, unhappiness around, telling me that she's bored or something. And this is my job as a parent, to explain to her that life is not about fun all the time. Life is not about entertainment all the time. Life is not about easy dopamines, easy happy moments all the time. Life is hard work. It's hard work in your relationships. It's hard work communicating what you want, what you need. Life is about doing your part as a team in the family. Life is about, getting to your adult years with the baggage that you learned in your childhood. So as a parent, I explain to my kid, okay, if you're bored, I can find you the household chores you can help me with, but you're not gonna just sit around telling me you're bored just because we need to go out and spend money on you. Nope. You need to be self-sufficient. If you're bored, get busy. If you're bored, go find something to do. We never allow ourselves to tell our parents we're bored. There was no such word in our vocabulary to be bored, Like I can see my mom's face, how she would, have a little smirk on her face and tell me, bored? Really? Here are little plastic bags, because you couldn't buy like a lot of plastic bags back in the grocery stores. And she would put the plastic bags and make me wash plastic bags with the soap in the running water and hanging them on the little. That's how my mom would find me chores and something to do. So there was never a dull moment. They kept us so busy all the time, besides school, besides other after-school activities. They kept us busy on the weekends. And when I was a kid, I've never been to the restaurant. I've never been to the hotel. My kids have theme parks. My kids have cruises. My kids have 5-star hotels. My kids experienced everything from Disney to, to solar eclipse when we find to a different state to watch something. My kids saw the rocket launches, My kids seen so much in their small life, like in their 15 and 10 years. They've seen 1,000 times, and they've experienced 100,000 times more entertainment than I experienced in my 47, 48 years. So what I'm trying to say, I don't make my kids to earn my love, because I love them unconditionally. And this is my job, to give them love. And this is how nature made moms. Look at this beautiful bird. Sorry for all this noises around, because of course now it's quiet. Oh my gosh, how nice it is and quiet. I had to scream over my microphone just because I didn't want you to hear this guy blowing the leaves. Okay. Whew, nice and quiet, so I'm not gonna scream that much. 4 people, thank you for sticking with me. So I love my kids unconditionally, just because I'm their mom. I have this like strong instinct to love them. They're my flesh and blood. They're kids of love. I really love my husband, and we had when we had our kids, we were mature enough, we were ready, we knew what, you know, like they didn't come along just as a surprise, they didn't come along as an accident. Our kids were very much wanted. They were babies of love. And I love my kids unconditionally, but I have all these fears in me because of the culture I grew up with. I have all these fears with me that my kids are growing spoiled, ungrateful, and I know my mom was at times very hard on me, as I say, very high expectations, very little praise. Everything was not good job and clapping like we do it here. Everything should be the best, otherwise you don't get any credit. So nowadays it's controversial. I wouldn't call it that my mom was too strict or abusive. Wow, so beautiful look. Thank you. Thank you, Gaia Jadugar. Where you from? Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. This is beautiful music here at the lake. I'm gonna go and stay a little bit so you can hear this guy playing music. So, I have all these fears and anxieties. I'm from India. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're in the United States, Florida. This guy is a musician. He's playing very soft music on his tambourines. So pretty. What's up, Little Nick Studios? What's up? Welcome to my live stream. Kate B here, Central Florida. We're talking about different cultures, different upbringing, and why I don't want my kids to be a generation of snowflakes, lazy buds, spoiled, ungrateful, privileged Americans. So let's continue. This message is held for review. Good. Please don't write anything super bad. So why I don't want my kids to be ungrateful snowflakes? I don't want them to earn my love, but I want my kids to know that success is earned by hard work, by showing your skills, by showing your diligence, by showing your commitment, by showing your attitude, by the skills of communicating with people, being a part of the community, being good moral, being a good role model. So, kiss me please. Lo Agaya Judagor. No, I don't kiss random man on the live stream. Sorry. Welcome. You can just listen to my monologue, and you can just write if you can relate to the upbringing and the lack of resources versus a new generation growing in a privileged world. Okay, flying kiss if you wish. Anyways, so I always have this constant fear because I have to balance. I don't want to be a strict and mean mom, but I want to explain to my kids my expectations of them doing their part. And by doing their part, I mean working hard every day at school, or somewhere else where they put an effort and they see the progress and they see the results. I teach them that my love comes unconditionally. Just because I'm their mom, they're my flesh and blood, they have my genes, they have my looks. No, both of them have my personality. Only one of them is my clone, but the other one is totally opposite to me. But I still love her unconditionally. I appreciate her, and I appreciate both of my daughters. They made me mom. They made me grow as a person. They made me evolve as a woman. They teach me lessons every day just because of growing in a different culture and being more smart than I was in their age. So I love my kids. I love them unconditionally. They don't need to earn my love, but everything else in life is not given. The income is not given, you know, like the money we have now is not given to them. They're given to them to a certain age when we help them go to school, when we pay for their school, and when we help them with getting higher education. But when they're adults and they're equipped with the education and tools, they're on their own. We hope them to be self-sufficient, independent people, and we do our part now supporting them, providing this beautiful childhood for them, you know, providing them no worries. Like we were always worried, you know, back in the day. We were always worried because, you know, a lot of families had as I say, parents alcoholic. I would worry that, you know, something happens to my dad, or I would worry that my mom can, you know, can drink wine and become an alcoholic. As a kids, we had a lot of worries that we didn't have good clothes, that we were mocked and teased and bullied at school for every little thing. We had a lot of worries and anxieties as kids. We didn't understand all these terms back then. We didn't understand all this psychology. Now every kid in high school wants to have a shrink or wants to have a therapist because the kid is going through teenage years. Guess what? We were going through teenage years. We were mean. Our parents were mean. And, you know, we just coped with that. We just dealt with that. There was nothing. There was no support and resource to help us with therapy, to help us with praising us for good work, to help us with nice gifts. There were no resources. And back in the day, nobody told you special, you know. Back in the day, everybody told you, why are you so special? You're not any special. Back in the day, the society, the environment, the communism wanted you to be uniformed, wanted you to have the same opinion about politics, the same opinion about lifestyle, the same lack of resources, you know. Back in the day, they wanted you to be a gray mass, because guess what? If you're a gray mass, if you're uniformed, it's easy to manipulate you, it's easy to control you, it's easy to have power over you. So that's how we were raised. But when I came in this country and I lived my whole adult life here, I came here when I was 30. So you can say 18 years. Before 30, I was like stupid, you know. When I was 30, I probably was 16 in my mind. I'm a late bloomer, so I got married really late. I got married at 32. I had my first kid around 32 and a half. So I was a late bloomer, but I don't regret that, because I was mature enough to understand, to love, not to be too materialistic, not to be too demanding. And I was still romantic. I still fell in love with the person who is my lifelong partner, who is my best friend, who is the best father to my kids. So I waited. By the standards we have back in Eastern Europe, I was a late bloomer, and I waited late to get married at 32. But there are no regrets there, because this is the best. This is one of the best events that happened to me in life, getting married with my husband, and of course having kids with my husband, and raising my kids in the United States, and having the beautiful privileged life in the United States. So what is my philosophy? you know, I'm not going to give my kids too much, you know. I'm gonna give them enough to experience good life. Well, enough, you know. And if I see if they're ungrateful, I'm gonna explain to them that the other world doesn't live like that, and this is not given. The entertainment and money is not given. Life in general is a hard work. If you want to make somebody out of yourself, if you want to have success in life, it comes with hard work, it comes with effort. Nothing is given, unless of course you come from a powerful rich families and you inherit the money, unless you win the lottery, unless you marry and you never need to work hard, just using the money of your family. There are instances when people don't have to work. I agree with that. You know, people have properties and they don't need to have everyday job. They just live off the properties. People have stock. They play on the stock market, and the income from their stock market gains can provide for them. People have passive incomes and they never have to work. But this is not the case in general, you know. The majority of people still have to earn their living. The majority of people on the planet still have to work hard every day to provide basic necessities for their families. And when I say work hard, I don't necessarily mean working, you know, work physically in the industries where, you know, it's only physical labor. What I mean to work hard is to get the education, what I mean to work hard is like to work hard in trying to get the knowledge, the education, the tools, the life skills that will build a good ground for their adult life, for their independent life. So now my kids know that there are values like love, health, you know, families. There are undiscussed values, you know. And unconditional love doesn't come earned, you know. Like your family is still gonna love you and support you even if you mess up. We didn't have that. We didn't have that insurance. Our parents expected us to be somebody. Our parents expected us to get married, to have kids, to work hard. And sometimes you see families, when the kids don't live up to their standards, they wouldn't talk to them, they wouldn't keep in contact, they wouldn't help them, they wouldn't even, you know, bother to be friendly or just be... It's not like that here, you know. I'm sure if my kids mess up and I have the resource to help them, to keep them safe and to help them to get back on their feet, I will do that. And I assure you, any good kid can mess up. Nobody is insured from troubles, from, you know, broken hearts. So I'll be there for them. But I teach them now, nothing comes given, nothing comes easy, you know. Even if we live this privileged life, it comes with the sacrifices, it comes with a lot of effort, everyday work, everyday routines, everyday discipline, everyday commitment, you know. It just doesn't come just because my husband has a great career and I have a decent job and, you know, we live in a nice neighborhood. No. It just doesn't come from the obvious, what they see. It comes with a lot of sacrifices we've done in the past to get where we are. We're immigrants. Our kids are first generation born in the United States. Our kids are really really fortunate to live in the safe, beautiful environment, and they're really fortunate that we can provide for them, having good jobs and having careers. But our careers didn't fall from the skies. Our careers were not built overnight. We sacrificed a lot to be in this country. We went through our own struggles, financial struggles. We went through our own, psychological struggles. We went through our personal griefs. We went through our personal hardships. And this helped to shape us up, but it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't necessarily something we want to repeat, and it wasn't something that we want our kids to repeat. So I hope their education is secured because they're doing great in school, because they work hard now to do well in school, and they go to very good schools where they have a competitive education to proceed to good universities and get good education to start their careers and independent life. But we want to tell them nothing is secure just by the fact they live good now in their childhood. We want them to understand that everything in their own hands. They have to be self-sufficient. They have to rely on themselves. They, of course, we want them to be kids until a certain point. Like my daughter told me once in the car that at 15 she doesn't feel, like at 14 she doesn't feel as a kid anymore, because in high school, here is in her goods high school, here starts the pressure of getting into college, getting prepared for the college, getting prepared for adult life, and getting education in order to get a good profession and start a career. So my kid told me that she doesn't feel as a child anymore at 14. She wants to be independent. She wants to drive the car. She wants to get a little, job to gain her own money. And I appreciate that. And what I can tell her, guess what? I don't remember being a kid at 7 or 8, because our parents put so much expectations, and we had to do so much more physical labor around the house or somewhere else to behave good for our parents, that I don't remember being a kid even at 8 or 9 or 10. Our parents let us deal with bullies at school. Our parents let us deal with figuring out how to communicate and get accepted, and try to be accepted by the peers, and just try to find our own coping skills. Now we have so much more resources for our kids. Now kids have so much more knowledge, and they're exposed to the world so much more than we were. Like, we had books in the library, we had 2 channels on TV. Not every person in my apartment building had a phone, like a wire phone in the apartment, but we did have a phone, so we could communicate. But other than that, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computers, we didn't have social media. So our kids have so much more resources, and they're still helpless sometimes, and how we were so resourceful. We found the resource in ourselves, being smart. Back in the day, trying to solve a problem with the minimum resource. And now we have so much more resources, but we don't have enough mental capacity to do simple tasks. We have in meltdowns because everything becomes so easy in the world for us, Everything becomes at the instant of your, fingertips. You can speak any language through the AI now, artificial intelligence. The household appliances help you with everyday chores. So you're not focused as much on the simple physical labor, household survival skills. just because, you know, everything is so easy now. And of course, kids don't know any other way. They don't, it's me who has something to compare with and know why it's like that. But kids have no way to understand why it's so hard for them to have certain skills, why it's so hard for them to solve easy easy life problems that, you know, like kids don't know finance, kids don't know you know, where kids don't necessarily know where money come from. Kids see all these entertainments you take them, you do for them every weekend, you take them to beautiful places, and for them it's given. They've seen it from when they were toddlers. They haven't seen any other world. So that's why they become snowflake, because life is so much easier. And instead of motivating them to put an effort to work harder, all these privileges we have now, it demotivates them. They get offended with every little thing, you know. They get offended with when people don't look at them right. They get offended if people call them with a different tone, you know. They get offended if they get nagged, you know. So, and I do nag my kids, yes. I do check. I have control, you know. I'm not gonna just say, oh, do that, and I'm not gonna check, and I'm not gonna worry about quality of the completed task. I am a control freak. And I think that gives my kids the understanding that they have to know that the results of their effort is going to make them grow and progress in life. So hello. So why I tell my kids that I'm gonna check and my standards of doing things are very high. Yes, I teach them, I show them a couple of times. They're still gonna, you know, not get it, what I want from them. But at the end of the day, doing it like 5, 10, 15 times, the simple tasks, the simple chores, the simple jobs, everything comes with practice. Practice makes perfect. And it's everything like that in life, you know. Whether you're studying, you just keep studying. It's just simple. Put yourself in the chair, read your book, read the material. Don't get distracted with anything else. Just focus on studies. If you go to work and your boss gives you a task to do this Excel table and check 150 lines on this Excel tables, you don't get distracted. You sit down in the stool and you say, yes, sir. And you're sitting down and checking every line in your Excel spreadsheet. And you pay attention, you make notes, you look for something, you dig the information. Don't just sit there pretending you work. You really work. You really work. You commit to the quality of your work. Unfortunately, we hear a lot in this, you know, environment these days. We hear a lot of words like lack of commitment. We hear a lot of words self-centered. We hear a lot of words like going out of your comfort zone. Guess what? Just because this generation has a lot and they didn't need to work hard for this privileged life, you know. A lot of people have lack of commitment and lack of motivation just because the resources were easily given to them, were easily available and accessible to them. I don't believe in social system when they try to take from the rich and give it to the poor. I don't believe in this shit. I don't believe in this crap. You know, I ran away from social system. I ran away from communism. I ran away from the direct, you know, government economy. I ran away from that stuff to be in this country and to earn my living, to live according to the means I provide, me and my husband provide for ourselves, you know. I didn't come to this country to share my, you know, the results of my hard work. I didn't come for that, you know. Nobody shared with me anything. No one provided for me as an immigrant. No one, because I had to be on somebody's, like when I came here, somebody else signed my affidavit of financial support form in order for me to be a student, you know. So I found people who trusted me to go to school to pay my loans and not to be on their expense, you know. So some people signed for me that financial support, but I never asked for that financial support. It was like just a formality. I always paid for my school. I worked hard. I put money aside. I didn't buy anything besides, you know, like very basic thing, food and gas for my car. I had very modest living when I was a student, you know. Yes, somebody helped me with the living expenses. I didn't have to pay for the rent, but I had to make $4,000 every semester to pay for my school, because my school was very expensive being an international student. So I had to work hard to earn every little dollar and put every little dollar I make towards my credit, towards my education. So I want to tell you that whatever you see here, whatever you see here, whatever you see here, it's a hard work. Part of it, my culture and upbringing my parents gave me. Part of that hardships that made me stronger, like what doesn't kill us make us stronger, really, yes. So, and part of it that my parents had very high expectations from me to succeed. And parents were not giving me money, you know. Parents, when, you know, did not have their own means to give me money. What they gave me the upbringings, they gave me the character, they gave me they instilled in me the values and the character, and they motivated me to be independent. They motivated me to be a functional adult, you know. Nowadays, people have excuses. Nowadays, people have a lot of victim mentality. People have lack of, and I say people have lack of motivation and lack of self-drive, and I don't like that. I don't want my kids to be like that. And I only hope by being energetic, by being healthy, by being stable, like morally and psychologically stable, I'm giving my kids the best role model, because the kids, they absorb, like whatever's going in your family, the kids can absorb, and they see both parents working hard. They see good relationship in the family. They see both parents, both worlds both worlds of the gender. Sometimes they have to see the gender roles, you know. I cannot mow the lawn. I probably can physically, but I don't expect my husband to cook me a meal, going back to my culture again, just because he doesn't expect me to mow the lawn. So there are still gender roles somewhere in the household. It's very individual, and as long as you agree between you and your partner how those roles are distributed, how those roles are set in your household, that's fine for your kids. If they see a healthy system everywhere they go in the environment, they're gonna absorb that system for themselves, and they're gonna have a good, stable, they're gonna have good, stable mental health to not screw up, to try to make their life as good as they saw it in every age they grew. So it's been almost an hour. Thank you, my viewers, for being with me and discussing this important topic. I hope I didn't show a lot of frustration about like some people that piss me off. And what I try to express on my channel is anything you feel emotionally, like if you feel anger, if you feel resentful or spiteful, if you feel upset about something, if something bothering you, all these feelings are valid. The most important thing is not to get stuck in those feelings. The most important way to find your own ways to cope with these feelings and pull through and move forward, you know, like switch. And I believe if you ever feel like depressed or you don't have motivation, just start doing simple physical tasks. Just get up, wash freaking dishes, clean up your house, iron some clothes, and you'll see that your mind will play a huge trick. The physical activity, go for a walk, go for a run, get your favorite piece of clothes and wash it with your hands, you know, like just not in the washing machine. Try to do something physical. Try to do something simple, physical, simple tasks. And it will help you to snap out of your bad mood when you're wrapped up in the anger, anxiety, when you're wrapped up in a bad day, in a bad mood. Just try to get up and do something to pull through, to get your mind off the stupid thoughts, the stupid vicious cycle of thoughts, of negative emotions. People never live the privileged life like we live now. We forget why people get lazy, why people get obese, because everything is so easy, everything at their fingertips. There is instant gratification for everything, you know. You watch all this, you know, beautiful, you don't need to travel, you watch it on YouTube now. You can go to and open any live stream from any place on the planet and be immersed there to see something. It stimulates your eyes, it stimulates your brain, but it makes you lazy. It makes you inert, you know. My greatest fear to be inert. I'm a very active person. I'm very energetic. I can't sit still. I cannot stand still. And I think that keeps me alive. It keeps me going. It recharges my battery. Yes, I do get sick and I do get tired and I do get, you know, lazy. But I only allow myself a certain amount of time to be lazy, to be upset, to be, you know, ungrateful, to be mean. I know the ways how to snap out of it. And it's all about your coping skills. It's all about your inner strength, your inner resources. Nobody needs to be there for you all the time, you know, solving your own problems, your own troubles in your head. Nobody's going to be there. You're a sufficient adult. Your parents gave you all the instruments. You got the education. No entiendo el inglés. I'm sorry, no hablo español. Thank you for stopping by. Gracias. No hablo español. Hello. How are you? So, just teach your kids that everything in life is earned. Success is earned. Privileged life is earned. Just teach your kids nothing is just given to you for being special. Nobody is special. If you think about it, yeah, you can be special in your own way. You can be special for your parents. But when you go out, when you go to real life, when you go to get a real job. You're not that special. You're just a resume, you know. You're just a piece of paper unless you come there and you show yourself, you show your attitude, you show your skills, you show your experience, you show your drive, you show your people skill, you show your soft skills. Unless then, you're not special, you know. So, you're not a princess. You're not born with the gold spoon in your mouth. You're not that special. So, you're only special for your parents. You're only special for your loved ones, you know. You're only special for your loved ones. Everything else in life has to be earned. Everything else in life comes with the effort and hard work and dedication and your own effort and your own commitment, your own self-discipline, your own responsibility. I understand when people are sick. I understand when people have life-threatening circumstances, conditions, health conditions. I understand that. But you know, unfortunately, these days we've seen a lot of abuse of the system. We've seen a lot of abuse of resources for people who do not really need it, you know, let's say that. So I'm convinced that if everyone will rely on their own efforts, if everyone will rely on their own capabilities, energy, skills, and drive, the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place of the responsible adults that will understand the importance of economy, the importance of peace, the importance of, you know, good life standards, you know. And I don't know who I'm preaching to. What's your name? My name is Kate. I'm Kate B. You're on my channel, Kate B from sunny Florida or Orlando area. So I don't believe that people are so special that they deserve everything to be given to them. You know, I think the progress sometimes comes from the hardships. The progress comes from the hardships and how strong mentally and physically person is to overcome the issues, to overcome the burdens, to overcome the circumstances, you know. I believe that in big picture, everyone is born single and it lives its world single. So during our life, we do rely on the people who love us, on the people, on the community, on the social system we live in. But you know, you come to this world alone and you live this world alone. So you have to have that stamina in you. You have to have this, you know, core. You have to have this inner strength to be able to find resources, to earn resources, to put an effort, to put a fight, whatever you want to call it, you know. But you, as an adult, it's your responsibility to be self-sufficient. And what comes to mind real quick, it's 1:03, it's 1 hour 3 minutes. I told you I can only be 1 hour because I'm leaving to pick up my kid. Oh my gosh, I'm going to the car now. 7:54. Uh-oh, I'm late. So, what's your name, Kate? So the last thought of the day, real quick. So The life expectancy in this country is very long. Nowadays, people live to 90, 95, and they can have fulfilling life after retirement, after having their finances set up, after earning their, retirement plans, after using their retirement money. They can live comfortably if they're in a good health, probably from 65 to 95. They have good chunk of 30 years to live happily and enjoy life, right? With the good medical care, with the resources, with the money, stuff like that. But to get to 95, you have to take your care starting at 25. You have to realize nobody is responsible for your care. Nobody is responsible for your body. Only you are responsible what you put in your body. If you want to smoke, if you want to drink, if you want to eat crap, it's up to you. But don't expect to live until 95 and be having a fun retirement, So back in the day when the life expectancy was short, the nature made us the most, the most productive at a certain age. Let's say the nature made you to be productive from 15 to 35, right? And in this 20 years, you had to make sure you get education, you get skills, you bear a child and stuff like that. Now, with the long life expectancy, you don't necessarily have only this 20 years. You probably have 30 years. But for women, if you want to become a mom, if you want to bear a child, you have to do everything in a timely manner. You have to know while you don't have a child, you're only responsible for yourself, have all this time until 35 all to yourself, Do something with your life. Invest in your education. Invest in your growth. Invest in your maturity. Put all the efforts to gain all these resources. And when you have a child, it's going to be a totally different world for you. If you have a child, you'll know you can provide for your child. And unless you figure out how to provide for your child in early age, be responsible. Don't bring kids to the poverty. Don't bring kids to the misery you live in. Don't bring kids, be responsible about bringing kids to this world. So nowadays you probably have, like the last thought of the day, nowadays do everything in a timely manner. Life expectancy, even with the longer life expectancy, good medical care, the beginning, the energy, the most energy you have is 20 years before you have kids, before you settle in your career. Do everything in a timely manner. At 45, it's way harder to go to school again and start a new profession. So make sure you do everything in a timely manner. Thank you for being with me. Love you all. Bye-bye. Good night. Give me likes, subscribe. Kate B. Love you all. Thank you for being with me on that live stream. Bye-bye.